Start with David Lake from 24/7. David, go ahead for Coach Diaz.
Yeah, Coach, I guess I got two questions for you. I guess first off, yesterday on the radio, you definitely made clear about how dynamic Trevor Lawrence can be as a runner. And I know going back to your defensive coordinator days, you faced guys like Cam Newton, I think Robert Griffin III. Is Trevor kind of on that level in terms of a quarterback that can hurt you with his arm or his legs, in your opinion, or is he different and unique in any way? And then I got a follow-up too.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, I think he's unique to those guys, not just in style, but also in style of offense that they played in. They're not going to turn him into a runner really until sometimes red zone. He will pull the ball. I mean, obviously, all you have to do is look at the Ohio State game a year ago. He ran a quarterback draw and outran the entire Ohio State defense, which was filled with first-round draft picks, to the end zone from like 60, 70 yards out. So he can roll. I think the really aggravating part is just when you are doing a good job in pass coverage, and he's got the ability to break away from a pass rush and either scramble to throw. He's really, really good throwing on the run, or just, tuck it and get a first down. He's one of those guys that it just seems like he eats up your angle because – he gets to the sideline, the defender can never really even get a hit on him because he just got these long strides and finds a way to get out of bounds for a first down. So it puts a lot of stress on your defense, and that's why he is a player he is.
And then just to follow up, I know in the latest depth chart, Mark Pope is still the starter at punt return, and obviously he's had some muff punts in the first three games. Was there any consideration to give a new guy a look there? And if not, why are you confident in Mark?
Well, yeah, we are still working on that this week in practice in terms of who will be our first punt returner. We've got different guys. I'm still confident in Mark. There's a reason why we still put him out there after he muffed the one in the Florida State game, and he handled all the ones after that very well. So, but our Monday depth chart, is not our Saturday depth chart.
Coach, we've got Pat Forty from Sports Illustrated. Pat, if you had a question for Coach Diaz.
Yep. Hi, Manny. Wondering about your recruitment on campus when De'Eric came down there, how you guys meshed and how you've seen him kind of bond with the teammates. And then secondarily, also why you thought Rhett Lashley was the guy to hire for your coordinator position.
De'Eric, we were able to get him on our campus for an official visit. I thought what was important for De'Eric is I really wanted to see who we were in person. And what I mean by that is I wanted to watch our players go through a workout and see that we were serious about winning down here, that we did have a culture that was intact, that really just needed a leader at the quarterback position to make it, sort of shine and come out and just get a chance to watch our kids. I mean, I think there's always a perception of who Miami is on the outside and who Miami actually is on the inside. And I wanted to have him and get a chance to see who we were really as people. And that we were serious about winning here and about the right things. And ultimately that, and I think the understanding of what Miami historically has looked like when they've gotten high-level play from the quarterback position, and then the relationship with Rhett Lashley and seeing what Rhett Lashley did in a year with a grad transfer quarterback in Shane Buechele, who didn't even get to SMU until June. I think all those things factored in. And then in terms of Rhett Lashley, the two of us had kind of crossed paths, known of each other for a long time. We had gone up against each other, when he was at Auburn in a couple of different ways. But when I started to talk to some people around the country, on more than one occasion, I had some very bright offense people that say, you need to check out what Rhett's doing at SMU now, because the ability to take a little bit of what he learned, through Gus Malzahn and all the success they've had at Auburn through the years, and then to bring some air raid principles.
I got up to, he brought up bringing some air raid principles. That was as far as I got, and then he froze. So just to finish that thought, and then I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was just, so again, just talking to people and the ability to sort of combine what they had started in Auburn and add some past concepts from the air raid. I thought that was really unique. And then when I had a chance to speak to him one-on-one and just get a feel for the vision of the program, who he was, his family, those type of things, it just felt like a really good fit.
Coach, we've got David Hale from ESPN. David, go ahead for Coach Diaz.
Hey, Manny. I I'm curious what your thoughts on the sort of scope of this game is. You obviously are a guy who knows Miami well, the history well, and you've been around for some signature moments over the last few years. Do you kind of embrace the fact that this is potentially a statement signature type of game for your program, or do you try to avoid making one game any more than any other game?
I think forget about even following Miami, as you all know, anyone who follows college football, statement games are always statement games until there's another statement game, because that goalpost of whatever statement you're trying to make always moves regardless. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get ourselves in a position where playing these games is not extraordinary for Miami anymore. That we're in these type of, primetime matchups, the college game day thing, playing a team like Clemson. It's not, this is how you build a program, to be in these positions and have it feel kind of natural and normal, which is exactly what it does to Clemson. So this is a great opportunity for us in terms of what we've done over the first 3 weeks, to go test ourselves against a team who is very comfortable in these settings but had to earn the right to be there. They weren't always this way. That was kind of a thing for them early on. And someone told Clemson that there was a statement game, and they had to sort of move through these same guideposts and to get to where they are at today.
Coach, we've got Steve Wine from the Associated Press. Steve, if you had a question for Coach Diaz.
Good afternoon, Coach. Going into a big game on the road, even without the crowds we typically would have for a game like this, how much do you think it helps your chances to have an older, experienced quarterback who has already seen a lot?
Oh, it's so valuable. And a guy who's been in some big stadiums and played against some big opposition. And then I think if you just know De'Eric, just his temperament, he's got a cool, calm demeanor about him, a quiet confidence about him that I think gives everybody on our football team confidence that every week we've got a chance to win if we protect him and do our job around him well. So, and not just De'Eric, just all around, I think we have a much more mature team than we had a year ago. Our leadership is better on both sides of the ball than it was a year ago.
Coach, we've got a few more for you. We're going to go to Matt Baker at the Tampa Bay Times. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, to kind of follow up on David's question a minute ago, how are you approaching this week? This is the biggest game you've ever coached in as a head coach.
I know, but it's just so funny. It doesn't really change the job, right? There's still a football game you have to win on Saturday. And to do that, you have to do the things that it takes to win a football game. We've got to win the battle of turnovers. We've got to win the battle of explosive plays. And I think third down and red zone are going to be crucial in this game. If you look at what Clemson did on third and long offensively against Virginia, and then when they get down in the red zone, they just score touchdowns. So I just think for the players and coaches alike, no matter what the hype that surrounds the game, it's still just going to be decided by the things that decide football games. So we've just tried really hard to focus on doing those things against a team that, again, this is not a big game to Clemson. This is just what they do. You know what I mean? And we got to get our program where it's just the same way. We should go play football against those guys.
Coach, we got Gary Furman from Kane Sport. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Manny. As a follow-up to what you've been saying, obviously when you play a team, you study them in depth in every single area. What are you seeing that allows Clemson to be Clemson, 9 straight seasons of 10 or more wins? And now having gone through this process in 2017 and now here in 2020, how much better equipped do you feel today than maybe you were in 2017 when you played them?
I guess I'll start with the first part of your question. What you see is a culture now that's used to winning, where the leadership of the team has been able to pass it down through generations, that when freshmen come, hey, this is the way we do things here. You see the stability that they've had on their staff, which is immeasurable. It's, when I got into coaching, that's very similar to what was going on at Florida State in the 90s. And you could see how valuable that was, because everybody in the program was in total and perfect alignment, which is very rare to have in college ball, or to be honest, any sport nowadays. And I think that matters. And then they have had a run of really, starting with Taj Boyd, with just transformative quarterbacks, into Deshaun Watson and then obviously now Trevor Lawrence. And again, it's just, we make things sometimes overcomplicated, but when you have a guy like that, it gives you a chance to win. If you have a guy like that and you play defense, like they're going to play defense, you're going to have a chance to win every game you play against everyone you play against. And they believe that. In terms of the game in 17, as opposed to now, obviously, that situation ate us up a little bit. Being there, we were very close. We had been in a big game. Obviously, it's Notre Dame, but not quite in that setting. Of what it is in Charlotte, and it was a great learning experience. And Bronco Mendenhall even mentioned it in his post-game press conference, the difference between playing Clemson and Charlotte a year ago as opposed to their efforts this past Saturday. So, but that's what I talk about when you're building a program. You got to get into these type of games to get your sea legs. Where when the ball's kicked off, it doesn't take you a couple rounds of the boxing match to really feel like you can throw a punch. And that's a great challenge for us. And the only way to do it is you got to earn the right to get into these games, which is what we've done over the first month of the season.
Coach D,